Hello, what up? What up, y'all? It's Alex, and I wanted to talk a little bit today about a thing I do that helps me finish tracks and helps me, just get tracks done so I'm not sitting on them forever and I'm able to get them to their highest potential, if you will. Now, before I get into that, I wanted to say if you've been watching the channel and getting some good stuff out of here, really appreciate if you checked out my Patreon. There you can support me directly. It's super helpful. I make like $10 a month or so on YouTube right now, so Patreon really helps. You can get track feedback from myself, private lessons, samples. You can just chip in $1 even a month or €1 or something just to support. I appreciate that. But okay, with that said, oh yeah, link in the description, Patreon, check it out. So that said, I want to talk about this idea that I have that seems to be working pretty well for me called the conveyor belt idea. It's nothing too crazy, but if you ever just find yourself constantly hitting yourself over the head, can't finish a track, then maybe this might be beneficial for you to think of your tracks as being on a conveyor belt. So by that, what I mean is normally what I do is I'll make a track. I try and do the main track, the main idea in just one sitting. And essentially, this is usually 30 minutes to 2 hours typically, sometimes more, sometimes less. But I really just try and make the track done. That's the mentality I have in my head. And I just go for it. This helps me make decisions quickly. I made a whole video on why I like to produce quickly. You can watch this. So this is kind of like a continuation of that. So once I get that main idea done, I then, if I'm being really good, I press save, and then I put it on the conveyor belt. So what I mean is I made the track's here, and now it's going to slowly start spinning over here. And while it's over here, I'm going to start working on another track. So I made this track really fast, this one here. I forgot what it was because hopefully I didn't even listen to it really once I was done making it. And now I'm making a track here. So now I'm focused on this track and I'm putting all my energy and heart into it. And then I finish that track and now it's going over here. So now I've got 2 tracks on the conveyor belt. Now I'm making a 3rd track here with my face because I don't have another hand. And then I finish that one. Then it starts going on the conveyor belt too. Basically, over time, this one I made a long time ago, it starts to come back. And eventually, after I go through a spurt of pushing out a lot of new thoughts, new ideas, eventually I'll start to go, okay, what was I making? What was cool? Let's see. So in a really good situation, that track that I made a long time ago is finally coming back around on the conveyor belt over here. So this is what I mean with conveyor belt. So by the time I'm re-listening to it, so this was track 1, that first track I made, I've basically forgotten about it because I didn't get super, super close to it other than the experience I had with it the first time. Other than that, I kind of said bye-bye, good luck. I'm going to work on new tracks now. And so now when I'm hearing it again, I'm kind of hearing it almost like the first time because if I really did just press save and I let it go, then I kind of forgot what I did. And so the cool thing now is I'm going to hear this track kind of like a new person, like just anyone else would hear the track. And if I really did a good job working quickly, again, check out that video if you want. If I really did a good job working quickly the first time, then hopefully I got the main feeling, the main ideas, the main arrangement of the track down, or at least some really big arrangement ideas, or at least some really fire moments that I know are good. Now I'm kind of listening to the track like a new person, and so I can pick out all the mistakes with it and find the places where it could be enhanced and improved, and then I can touch it up, try and finish it again, and then I put it back on the conveyor belt. And so I mention this because it just seems to really help me because now instead of having a track that I'm constantly obsessed over, I kind of have a track that I really go in on it and I really put in the energy on it. But then I send it off on its way and then I come back to it in a week or two with fresh ears, forgot what it even was. So now I'm working on it again kind of fresh, and then it comes back around and I just kind of repeat that until it kind of depends. Sometimes Now I'm a bit rambling now, but before I go on this ramble, the main idea was like this conveyor belt can help you because to me, it might be able to help you because to me, this helps me get less like personal about the track sometimes because I just go, that was cool, let's make more. That was cool, let's just make more. And frankly, sometimes a track on the conveyor belt comes back and it doesn't sound good, and then I go, okay, cool, whatever, new track, let's try a new track. Um, but yeah, it's just really nice though sometimes because another cool thing that happens is if you hear that track coming back on the conveyor belt, and even if there's some things you would fix, if your overall experience is wow, that was dope. To me, that's a huge, that's a good sign. And usually, what I tell myself is, okay, Alex, you forgot what that track was, and you just listened to it like someone else would have listened to it, and you thought that in the form that it was in was really cool. So, okay, remember that. Now, if there are parts you want to change, remember that this version you already had, even though it's unfinished, sounded cool. So sometimes that's nice because then that tells myself, okay, wait, I don't need to do that much else to it. Because I'm sure some of y'all have done the thing where you have your track and you're trying to finish it, and you just start going in on every little thing you can. You start creating new problems and new problems and new problems. Um, and at least for me, sometimes I end up creating more problems than I'm solving. It depends. A lot of this stuff really depends. But like I said, I mentioned all of this just to say that for me, it's helpful sometimes when I have that experience of, wow, this was really awesome as it was. Now I can kind of focus on like, okay, let's just try and get that done. Let's not think too much about it. Let's just do what I need to do. But yeah, like I said, maybe this doesn't help you. Hopefully it does. I know at least I've had at least a couple students, I think. I know sometimes it's hard to figure out when something's done. And so for me, this kind of helps. Having this conveyor belt idea helps me get a little detached from the song in a way that I think is healthy. It also helps me listen to the song again with fresh ears. And then it keeps me from like super overthinking everything about the track and kind of just doing what I need to do and having a fresh set of ears whenever I'm hearing it. And yeah, so hopefully that's helpful to someone out there. If you have any questions about it, comment below and I'll clarify. I'm not saying everyone should do this. I'm more saying if you're overthinking and you can't finish anything, maybe give this a try. Think of your tracks as a conveyor belt. Don't get so, or think of putting your tracks on the conveyor belt. Keep making new tracks. See what happens when you listen to the ones from earlier. Some might be cool. Finish those. Just, let your first impressions guide you there. Maybe that will help you out a bit. If it doesn't, let me know. If it does, let me know. Whatever. And if you found this information useful and you want to support the channel, please go to Patreon. That's way more helpful than watching my videos on YouTube. But you know what? Keep watching the videos on YouTube if you can't do Patreon right now. I appreciate it. Tell a friend, and you can get track feedback, some samples from me, and then private lessons if you want to, where we can talk about creativity blocks. We can talk about production ideas. We can talk about mixing. We can talk about kick drums, whatever. But cool. That's all I got for now. Thanks for watching.